In this video, I want to teach you guys how to make a banger YouTube thumbnail in, no joke, 10 or 15 minutes. This is what you should be doing on every single video to help them pop, and because it is the single most important thing, other than your title, to get people to watch your video. Now in this, I'm going to show you guys an example of exactly what I do for my clients when they ask me to make a thumbnail. I'm going to go through step by step everything that you're going to want to know. So we're going to jump into my computer here, and I want to show you guys the process that I have as far as creating a thumbnail. We are going to be going through to get a clip of one of my buddies who is a real estate agent. We're going to go through here and we're going to look for him smiling or something that conveys it. Now I'm going to play this because it is copyrighted music without any sound, and I'm going in 0.25% just because I want to make sure that I can get the right opportunity to grab a screenshot here. So in here, he's talking all about working with him as a real estate agent over in Virginia. It's pretty cool. It's a very, very well shot video. But I'm looking for these moments right here where he's almost smiling. I want him to smile. Now, the reason why I'm doing this as opposed to going and grabbing one of his headshots is specifically for the fact that I do not feel like using the same redundant headshot over and over and over again. I want a lot of his thumbnails to have a similar theme, but I don't want the thumbnail image itself to be the exact same because it's just boring and stagnant. You want that same feel. You want people to remember it. If you look at somebody like Logan Paul on YouTube, you'll see that a lot of his content is it has a similar feel every single video. You know when you're looking at Logan Paul's video. They're very punchy. They have him, right? He's almost always in there. It's something crazy with him doing it, right? I mean, every single video. Mr. Beast, exact same way. And you're gonna find this with every single YouTuber out there. They're gonna have a similar theme amongst all of their videos. So if we go to Mr. Beast's channel here, you can still see, I mean, he's in every single video. There's usually cash in it, right? To portray the fact that they're giving money. It's always him. It's a dominant figure. He doesn't actually have a lot of words in a lot of his thumbnails, but for some channels, words actually do work. But it's pretty cool. I mean, you can see exactly here, his thumbnail has a very common theme amongst it. Bright, vibrant colors. It's always him in one way or another in every single thumbnail, and there's always something very catchy. He has a dedicated thumbnail person. So in this, we're just looking for the exact same. We're looking for one screenshot that we can grab. Now, typically I would like to have a picture taken at these locations, or at least a couple hundred headshots to choose from. That way I have a selection, but I know that that's not always the reality. So in here, I'm specifically looking for him kind of smiling and him going through it. And then that's when I'm going to slow it down so I can grab the image. These are some good ones. Like, this is great, but he's not smiling, right? If we play it back in 0.25%, that way I can actually grab the image that I want. It makes it a little bit easier to catch. Now, obviously the audio is going to be distorted. So this is actually pretty good. I'm okay with this. Is it my favorite? I'd be lying to say if it was. It's decent. I'm not mad about it. So in this case, I'm going to just take a quick little screenshot of this. And I use snipping tool just because I really only need him. I don't need anything else inside the image, right? So that's decent. I'm more than happy with that. The other thing that you want to do is you want to make sure that you're always playing it at the highest resolution possible. If you're not, you're probably missing out on some quality for your thumbnails. Now, thumbnails are very small, but still, you don't want to lose the opportunity to get a good image. So we're going to keep going here. He does smile right there too, so this could be another one. Right? We'd have to go back like a quarter of a second. That's not bad, but still not exactly what I'm looking for here. We're going, here's him on the boat. Now, I really like this. This is really, really good, but I don't think it would fit the thumbnail because the way I'm looking at it is I just want him. Everything else in the background doesn't matter. His face is a little washed out, but that's okay. But it's not gonna fit the thumbnail the way I want it to. Now, I was hoping for this image right here, but if you watch his hair, he turns away, and then that's the image I wanted. I wanted him to be looking in the exact same location, but he turns away before his hair is in frame. So that kind of loses that option. Now, if I was a professional photo editor, I could probably grab it and adjust it and make it work, but I'm not. I just make good thumbnails for people that I really like and some of my customers. And in here, this is a good one. This is probably my other favorite. Once he stops speaking, right there. So it's so hard to grab. I have to make sure that I grab it right at the right spot. Perfect. So this is the one that I'm looking for. Now, the way I found this is because I went through 3 or 4 times. And if you look side by side, they're not that different. He's a little bit white up here. I like lighter images. I feel like they capture you better. So I'm going to grab this one instead. I like this one. There's also less work that the AI has to do as far as grabbing hairs. Typically, if there's more hair in there, it's not going to work so well. It'll work okay, but it's going to cut it off. Now, my process is I'm going to just save this really quickly. Tane headshot. That's his name, Tane. If you're ever in Virginia looking for a house, he's a great buddy of mine. He's in the top 1% of salesmen in that area, or saleswoman in that area. And now I go into PicMonkey. Now, I use PicMonkey almost exclusively. It just has all the tools, and I've been using it for so long. Canva's another great option. I feel like what you can do on here is better than what Canva has, but if you're looking for templates, it's neither here nor there. Now, I already have a theme that I kind of like with his. I have a very specific theme where it's this white outline you can see here, and I'm just going to click on Edit a Copy. Now, every once in a while, if I'm creating something for somebody who doesn't have necessarily a consistent theme for every single video, I'll start to use other templates as far as what YouTube, or better yet, PicMonkey will offer for the YouTube. But in this case, I actually really like this one. I'm editing a copy, so I don't have to ruin my old work here. And I'm just going to get rid of him here, and I'm just going to click and drag him directly into this image. And now I get to work on it, right? So you can see he's much larger, which is perfect. And you got to keep in mind, this image is realistically only going to be about that big. Even on Facebook, it's going to be about maybe that big, maybe a little bit bigger based on my screen here on a 15.6-inch laptop. So overall, it's more than adequate. Now, I do like that PicMonkey does give me the option to remove the background. I don't have to use any third parties here, and I'm going to bring him here. And he's already got that natural glow just from the light around him. So I don't love that he's not smiling 100%, but it's pretty darn close to what I'm happy with. Now, I could always swap him out as long as I get the rest of it right. Now, I put this gold bar behind him. I think it looks good. His colors are gold, which I think helps him stand out as well. And I want to just make sure I get the gold right there in his arm as well. And I'm going to just bring him with a quick little shadow, make him pop out, make the image dynamic. And then also a quick little outline. I want to highlight him. Now, I try to stay away from the golds and the yellows because, quite honestly, they just look awful. Gold is a really hard color to capture on an image. Unless it looks like it's painted or it's gold flake, it's really hard. There's no really like good golds. Like this, it just looks cartoonish. I'd rather even use like a green, possibly even a red. But for him, I like going white. I think white just keeps it dynamic. Now, should you work with an agent? Now, I'm going to go out and I'm just going to go grab a picture on Unsplash. PicMonkey does also offer images. So I'm going to go Virginia Beach, and I'm gonna just look for a picture of Virginia Beach here because that's where he's selling homes, in Virginia Beach and around Virginia Beach. I don't see anything that sticks out as specifically as Virginia Beach. I'm gonna go over to Unsplash. We're gonna just look for a quick image of Virginia Beach here, and this is a pretty good one. This is the nightlife, right? I want to make sure that the camera's a little bit lower. I don't necessarily, if it's gonna be him with Virginia in the background, I want more of like a front-on picture. Something like this as opposed to on the side here. But overall, I mean, not bad. I don't love these images. We got beaches, we got boats, we got the Blue Angels. That's cool. And there's a couple other resources. If you do feel like going out and buying images, there's plenty of image places that you can purchase from. You have Dreamtime, you have Shutterstock, you have Adobe Stock. I mean, the list goes on and on here. And I'm just looking for something that would capture him. Now, I don't see anything that would really say like, hey, this is Virginia Beach. So I'm just going to go look for homes. And I'm just going to find a home that would like kind of fit the area. And I know that this house up here would fit the area, but that's for iStock. So I'm looking for something a little more interesting, a little more unique. This house is too far modern. It wouldn't fit the area. It does help if you've been to the area. If you haven't, ask whoever you're working with for images. This is going to really help it stand out. Now, I would prefer to go with one of these. These look really good. The problem with these images is the fact that it's at night, and I want a nice bright image. I want something that's going to pop. I don't want something that's going to be dark. And the reason why is your eye is naturally drawn to images that pop. It's pretty rare to see dark videos do well. And when I say that, here you go, 49 views. 63,000, I mean, there's still a lot. I would say almost 1/3 of the image is white, right? Yellow, a bright color, nice neon green. You have light colors, light colors, light colors, right? Pfizer, this is news. I don't particularly care which way you go. News, white. I mean, they're all pretty bright. Here's one that's pretty dark, and the drip, 589 views 4 hours ago. That's a pretty good growth rate, I would say. But for the most part, I mean, punchy, still mostly light. PewDiePie, he makes his own rules. Same with Mr. Beast, makes his own rules. CoffeeZilla, this is the first one we've seen dark in over a dozen videos. So just keep that in mind when you're creating these. And I'm just going to look for a quick little house here that would fit that area. That's all I'm doing is looking for a house that fits that area of the state, and then we're good to go from there. And here's that house again. The house is beautiful, but it just doesn't fit that area. So I'm just looking, like, this is not a bad area. I'm not against using something like this because nobody's really going to see it. And you're going to see why in a moment, and you're going to say, oh, that was pretty clever to do. All right, so here you go. I like these. These aren't homes in that area. They just don't fit well. Let's just check out a couple more areas here. We're going to go to Pixabay, and then we're going to do Pexels, because I think both of these websites also have tons of great images on them. There's nothing that screams Virginia Beach, unfortunately, which makes life a little more difficult. These are great images, but they're just not of the location. So I'm going to go back to my other plan here, and this is the plan that I don't love to do, but it does work quite well, especially people that know the area or are looking to move into the area. We're going to go up, we're going to search Virginia Beach, and this is where we get to have a little bit of fun here. So we're going to go through. These pictures are okay. This one's, like I said, not my favorite. This is a little bit better. I do like this one. It doesn't show the homes though, and that's what I'm hoping for, is something with a house in it. Once again, it's not the end of the world if it doesn't have that, but overall, I do like to have some pictures of the homes in there if I can get that. So I'm going to cheat. I'm going to use this image right here. I like this image. I think it looks pretty good. I'm going to do a medium size because I don't want the picture to be too large. And I'm going to drop it over in PicMonkey. Now, this is where we get a little creative. Now, I like to see what I'm working with the entire time, so I don't want to think like, oh my goodness, this isn't exactly what I want. But the problem is he's on the left-hand side. I think he looks better on the left than he does on the right. Personally, I just feel like it would look strange with him in the other direction. And we could always test it. I like to test it. I see him more of a left kind of person. We're going to go with now taking this image, and we're going to swap the sides here, just so that way we can get the meat and potatoes of the image, because that's really, really important. And I do like this contrast of the gold and blue. So I shouldn't say I hated this image. I do like this image. It's just not the one that I was hoping for. And we're going to go in here. We're going to just go to edits. We're going to go to rotate, and we're just going to flop this image. And now we have all of the information that we're looking for. People know that that's what Virginia Beach looks like. You have the hotels, you have the strip of Virginia Beach. It's very easy to see what it is. But the problem is now is it's a little bit distracting on what we're looking for. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go into the effects, and I'm just going to soften this up just a little bit. I don't want it to be too distracting there. I want somebody to know what it is, but I want it to just be a little bit blurred out in the fact that it's not pulling your eye away from the words, right? You can do hard edges. That's just more for the outside. And then you're going to hit apply. Now you can mess around with that based on what it is. I've done things such as beach glass in the background, so it's a nice color. I've done beaches. I've done palm trees. I've done nature, just enough that you could tell what it is without taking your attention away from who he is and what the topic of this video is about. So the topic of this video is, for us, it's not about selling homes. It's much more, right? So I'm just going to write something about like passion. And if you forget, you could go back and watch the video, which I do recommend doing, especially in the case that I've been editing now for about 10 or 15 minutes. I've already forgotten what the video is specifically about. I know what generally it's about, but I want to make sure I get a refresher here. So in here, he talks a lot about his goals and his passion. So I'm going to say homes are a passion. It is a passion, but it's much more than that. So I want to bring in something with it's more than just a passion for what they do here. And I have to think about this and get a little creative. All right, so I'm just gonna use the term "we care about goals." I think it's pretty short, simple. I like it. It's just exactly what I need. Now in this case, I could do a couple different things. I could do it all left facing. I can do a return in front of all of these here and make it look pretty darn good. We care about goals. We can bump this up a little bit, and this is pretty good. I'm pretty happy with this. I'm gonna bring him in a little bit more. I'm actually gonna bring this gold strip in a little bit more too. I like this gold strip here. And so far we're doing, this is almost exactly what I wanted as far as his image, right? We care about goals. Now you got to be careful with the words because the words can get a little long, right? Passion's a bit of a longer word. It may cover, so you got to be a little cautious when it comes to the size of your words. But overall, I mean, this is a completely transformed image for his videos. Now, I could go back and try to find another image of him, which I may, just to touch it up a little bit, but I am on a bit of a time crunch. So I'm going to go in here, I'm going to hit save really quickly, and I'm just going to upload it to YouTube. I'm sure you guys are pretty familiar with this here. And once that's done, we can go in and we can hit publish on this video. Now, I said I'm on a bit of a time crunch. I have about 1 minute till this video goes live that I've given myself, but I needed to just make sure that it was going to go up, and then we can add this thumbnail in. And that's it. That's the whole process to make a great thumbnail. So I hope this video helps you guys. I hope you guys learned something. But overall, I mean, we're talking about 15 minutes to make a thumbnail from a video I've never even seen before. So this is something that you could follow along with at home. If you have any questions, please leave it down below. I will also leave a link to PicMonkey. And if you do buy, it does help support the channel. Love you guys. Bye.